Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the mid-year refresh video for my Louis Vuitton GM or large ring agenda. I have used this in different ways since the beginning of the new year. So initially this was going to be a project planner just because I've started to really lean towards smaller sizes in insert, and then I'm still an A5 person. I still love A5. And I've always feel like it's going to be something that's in my collection, even if I take it out for like a week or so. Like I feel like I always just gravitate like back towards it. It's kind of like an hourly planner. Those two are just two things I feel like I always have to have in my system. With that, in this video and the mid-year refresh videos, I'm gonna do a flip so that way we get like the look of what it currently looks like, and I'll talk about all of the changes that I made throughout the year, similar to what I do in my end of month flips. If you're new to my channel, I do end of month flips every month to go over like how I've used each planner insert, what's moved, but what works, what hasn't. And so I'm gonna do something similar to that effect for the mid-year refreshes, but then we're also going to refresh it. And then I'm going to talk about how it's going to incorporate in my planner system, because I use multiple planner systems or multiple planners, and I'll have one planner system update slash mid-year refresh update with how they all work together and bring it all together. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So this planner has been primarily my project planner, and I have decided that I didn't need it to be specifically just for projects, and right now I'm really just loving this as a desk agenda. So I think for mid-year refresh, a lot in the past few months has contributed to this decision, just because I've used this as the desk agenda. So I think I mentioned in a lot of videos like where I'm at my desk, this is literally like the right corner, and then all my work stuff is like to the left because it's an L-shaped desk, and I owe y'all an office update now that I think about it. But this is literally where my planner always is, and it's because I have my hourly in here, again, a go-to, a staple that I have to have in my planners, and so it just makes sense to have this as my like overview slash desk agenda. And so usually my planner is always like this, so I can see what's going on. I have decided to keep work items in here just because I have a new job where at the moment it doesn't completely stress me out and wreck my mental health, and I don't see that honestly happening with this job, but knock on wood, you never know. But I do keep in work information here, and then even like last week I incorporated things that I needed to do for work. And so that is something that is different. Typically I have always kept work separate, but again, I think because that's just the nature of the jobs that I had, and with this one, I don't know, I just really love it, especially right now. Again, everything on this channel is always subject to change, so right now this is working for me. If it stops working for me, I can separate it out. But part of this being the overview and how I've set these inserts up is to have it so that like whatever categories are going on or whatever I want to plan for, I have a space for it in this planner. So this is again the main view, and this is probably what's gonna primarily stay. So let's go ahead, let's start from the beginning and what's in this planner. So with the Infinite Lotus subscription box, it's the only subscription box that I have on a reoccurring subscription. I did get the cloth and paper box last month, but that'll be as I like them. The Infinite Lotus one is the only one that I know that I'll probably use all the stuff. But we have the items from the June intentions slash the June subscription box. Back here I also have some of my favorite stickers that I've been using in here, and so that just stays here so it's easier to plan. And then icons I keep in a little folder from cloth and paper, so that way I can carry it around in between all planners. On the rings, everything is organized by this set of, I want to say these are the Spotlight dashboards from cloth and paper, and I really love these. I also have these in my A6. These are probably some of my favorite because they're not labeled, and I typically know what's behind each one. I don't like labeling them because I move things around so frequently. That's just me. But our first tab is usually and always my schedule section, and so behind that I have, this came with the most recent Infinite Lotus subscription box, this dashboard, and I absolutely love it. And I love how like the June intentions matches, so it looks really, I like the way like these look together at the front of your planner. And then the primary inserts that I use in here are the ones that I just showed y'all, which are the weekly schedule inserts from Cloth and Paper. And so I have these inserts in here just in case I need to reference them. Again, I've switched how I've used them. The monthly view, this is my main monthly view. It's mainly for reference. And I honestly think I'm switching that to a different planner. I haven't fully decided on the monthly. And y'all will see in my new half letter setup why. But here's the beginning of the week. So this is where I'm learning how to figure, this is where I was learning like how I want to use these inserts. So I'm not good with vertical inserts. I like structure. That's going to be one of the common themes if you're new to my channel, and something that if you're not new to my channel, you know I say all the time, I like structure. I need designated spots for things. And that's just how my mind works. It's how I'm like, that's why I color code, right? Like I need like organization through and through, type A, right? And so even if it's a messy type A. But I have the lines separated into 4 sections because that's just something that I've always had a similar style insert where I've used like the meal planner inserts from Infinite Lotus. There's some new ones from Cloth and Paper. I've used some on Paper Co ones just so I can have category based spots within my planner to plan what I need. And so it's, for this week, it was inbox, academic, content, health. And then it's switched, as I've mentioned, throughout the weeks. What I really like doing in this is using the page flags for time blocking, and because I have so many page flags, I also like how it looks because it helps incorporate the theme, but it's also nice for me just to see like, okay, so this is like I know I'm working, right? And that's something that I've always experimented with hourly, is like blocking out when I work, but I really like using the page flags, and you'll see that more in the end. But we have these, and then I'm all for blank space. I don't force myself to use anything. That's another common theme, and something that I always say on this channel is don't force yourself to use anything. Don't feel the need to like fill everything out. If you only need the hourly for the week, only use the hourly, and you'll see that in this current week that I'm filming. But yeah, for the most part, like everything has been pretty consistent, I feel like, on how I use this, because like I said, I like structure, and then typically if I use something one way, it's really hard for me to change it because that's just how I see it. And that's usually why, if it's not working, I stop using it. And tweaking can sometimes be hard for me. And that's just a personal thing. But that's a lot of times why I change things so frequently. Here's an example of a week where there's a lot of blank spots, right? Because I didn't need it. Or I probably was using something else in a different planner. Since this is my overview planner and I have other planners, I have inserts that I use where it's more detailed. This is really just supposed to be a quick, hey, I'm like working on this, or I need to do this. And it doesn't necessarily have to be completely filled out. This is just things that I want to be able to reference, usually weeks later. So yeah, and then here's where you can see the page flags are being time blocked. Here is, I think, one of the busier weeks. And here's just like a little overview of the month. And here's a spot where I just use sticky notes instead of filling out the weeks, but again, time blocking. And then this is the week that we were traveling, so I just didn't fill it out. So I just used this sticker to put them together. And then here's this current week that I'm filming. So again, very simple. Haven't even put in the time blocks yet just because it's active, and so things will probably pop up, and I didn't want to like pre-fill that out. But this is how I'm currently using this planner. And I think right now I have until July. I did a quarter. And so I have my new inserts. So I'm going to continue to use these because I really like them. For now, we'll just pause and I'll add them in later because I want to do the full flip. The next section is what hasn't come out of this planner, and so that is my academic section. So this is all of my academic inserts for my dissertation. So I have some printouts of my study for notes just to reference. This is usually like when I'm working on my dissertation, what I use. I printed this all out. Here's my study notes, and then this is everything pretty much that I've been working on all year and the end of last year for my dissertation study and my final 2 chapters for my final defense. And then I have inserts in here from my proposal, so that way I can reference them. I only kept the important ones because I didn't really need a lot of it, like the stuff that I was using to work through, because I just, you know, I was past that, I passed it. So that is the academic section. Again, that part hasn't changed. This will be removed once I'm done with school, but for the most part, like that's the only thing I really needed in here. And then the rest is honestly just note inserts. So I have these 1 line a day inserts from Infinite Lotus that came in the sub box, some 100 day. This is ultimately where I'm going to, I'm trying to find a word, like experiment. So I have my sub box from Infinite Lotus set for A5. So if I want to use different planners, I call this my note section, but it's also technically like a miscellaneous section. I'm thinking of using this for work since I have these meeting notes in here. I don't necessarily need these right now, so I could probably take them out when we're doing the refresh, but I don't know, I kind of want to use these for work. I use this for the trip that I was just mentioning, so I can take that out now. But yeah, other than that, I just have no inserts back here. So I don't need that many in here. Honestly, I feel like I could get away with taking them out, but you never know. I feel like if I take them out, then I'll probably need them. So I'll keep just a little bit, but I don't need this many notes inserts in here. And I just like having note inserts in all my planners. So now I'm only gonna keep a little bit because I wanna maximize like what type of inserts I'm using in here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that is everything in this planner, as we can see. So now let's get into updating it. So like I said, a few note inserts, and I have some from Made Paper Co too that we'll keep here. Oh, that's just one. We'll keep it. I'm gonna remove the packing list. We'll keep the meeting notes just in case I do want to use this for work. Because like I said, this stays open, so it's nice to have open. So I think we're good on that. And now this is a lot thinner, so I can store more inserts in it. And then academic, we're going to keep everything in here. And so I have the July monthly calendar, and I think we'll do, how much space do we have? I have a lot of room on the rings. Okay, I don't know if I could get away with putting in the rest. I don't want to put too much pressure on the rings, although I've never had that issue with Louis Vuitton, but let's see. I don't want to also make it an issue. So here's the rest of the year, minus a few of like the contact lists and stuff. I don't need any of that. I don't use it. So what happens if I put the rest in? Oh, nice. There's plenty of room. Okay, so that was a lot easier than I thought. I thought we were gonna have to organize. This video is gonna be a lot shorter than I anticipated. Okay, so here's the rest of the month. And so now we have the quotes. Here's the July overview. This was already in here. Right now, I just have these page flags in here because these are, I need to plan out the month. I've primarily been using these monthly inserts for like pre-planning. And so this is what it looks like right before like the month. I just mark like with a sticky note or something, or like an icon, like what's going on. So right now this is what the monthly view looks like, but it'll change. And then I think the quote page is supposed to be before, yeah. Actually, I can probably remove the quote page. I don't need that. So we have 2 notes, and then the new month. And then I'll also remove the previous months, probably the first week. So when I do move into the July, for now I want to keep them just in case I need them. Because like I said, this is an overview. Actually, I feel like I can keep them. I'll probably just keep them because unless I need to add additional notes anywhere. Like I said, I do like referencing and I do bring them back. And if I am going to use this for work as well, then I'll definitely need to reference a lot of stuff in there. But I have liked incorporating like a work tab in here. And especially since now I have my half letter, I've been using that for tactical planning, and it has a lot of space. So I think keeping one of these sections for work will probably be good. So yeah, that is this. And then, like I said, we have the full year. So nothing's really changing in this planner because it's working, right? So I don't make changes unless it's not working. And right now this is working, so we're gonna keep it as is. So yeah, other than that, I'm gonna flip this open and we're gonna put this to the side because that is gonna be it for this video. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching.